Why do we need to save the planet? Because we need it for us and for the future generations. Would that ensure a better quality of life for all? Yes, without a doubt it would. Can the save the planet strategy kill people? No, hell no. What am I even saying? Hi, I am Atul Mishra and this is TFI Global, the foreign affairs and geopolitical analysis arm of the TFI Media Group. And in this video, I'm going to tell you how Joe Biden is making the impossible possible and how in the state of Texas, actual people are dying due to Biden's ill-conceived policies. The USA, especially in the state of Texas, is facing unprecedented weather conditions as deep freeze continues to torment the Americans. With the usually hot and humid Texas having temperatures comparable to that of Alaska, millions of Texans are scouring around with their propane canisters to shops. The non-conventional energy sector that Democrats championed in their Green New Deal has come to a grinding stop and doesn't look to resume anytime soon. The windmills that Democrats envisioned as the future of Texas have frozen, and as a result, the power grid has failed, leaving millions in the dark and scrambling to survive the freezing cold. Texas produces roughly 4.6 million barrels of oil per day and is home to some of the nation's top gasoline and diesel producing refineries. However, rather than celebrating and benefiting from the vast natural resources of Texas, politicians took the fashionable route and without any plan B, became recklessly reliant on alternative energy, meaning windmills. It is imperative to note that 15 years ago, there were virtually no wind farms in Texas. However, last year, roughly a quarter of all electricity generated in the state came from wind. And this is one of the reasons why Texas currently finds itself in a soup. The muddling, virtue signaling policies of the Democrats have caused this agony to the red state. And this will continue. Shortly after coming to power, President Biden passed a blanket order that banned new oil and natural gas leases and drilling permits on federal land and in federal water for 60 days. If a report prepared by a top oil and natural gas industry group last year is to be believed, Americans would face 1 million job losses by 2022 if Biden permanently pauses oil and natural gas development on public lands and water. 120,000 jobs may be lost in Texas alone, and 62,000 jobs may be lost in New Mexico. As reported by TFI, Biden is the same person who in December 2019 had suggested a mind-numbing idea that if coal miners lose their job due to his policies, well, they should learn to code. It's not wrong to say that environment needs to be protected, but introducing sweeping changes in the energy industry sector in a short span of time is expected to sow the seeds of a dystopian and catastrophic future. Imagine a similar deep freeze condition in the future, with millions of Texans sitting unemployed at home as Biden rolls out his disastrous Green New Deal in its floundering magnanimity. Imagine what would happen then. Complete and utter chaos. The Americans who are currently able to flock to shops and buy the necessary equipment, which by the way is churned using the oil and energy industry, will be sitting in their freezing homes waiting for the Chinese-made windmills to rotate. Thousands would have died by the time those unreliable motors will have swung into action. Moreover, isn't the entire point of environmental conservation to help minimize the loss of human lives in addition to restoring the health of the planet? However, at this stage, it certainly seems a bit hard to imagine any of that happening if Biden's policies and their implementation are any indication. Implement the green laws by all means. Enter the Paris Treaty without a second thought. But at the end of the day, make sure that the sector which contributes immensely to the GDP of the country is not left to bleed out. Because if that happens, having an environmental catastrophe would seem like a welcome escape to the people who would be anyway suffering at that point. Biden is also off with his agenda to flood the United States of America with illegal immigrants. The state of Texas has started bearing the brunt of such disastrous policies. There are three main issues that are cropping up in Texas because of this: illegal aliens, risk of major COVID outbreaks, and an increase in crime rates. Question is, why is Biden making Texas go through so much? Is it because Trump won the state?